too. And that is why she's in Toastmasters. So she really wants to hear some feedback from you people. Help me welcome Jenn Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, for the present. Thank you. So the title of this talk can be Now I Embrace Parent Education. But now, having seen the word of the day, it could also be why parent education is now a lodestone. When you were a kid, did you ever wish that your parents treated you differently? And those of you who are parents now, did you ever find yourself acting as if your parents did when you were a kid? I can remember making resolve once, about the age of 6 years old, when I felt ignored by my mom. And my resolve was that I was going to do the opposite of what she did, not punish her by doing the same thing that she did to me. I'm going to talk with you now about the journey that I've been through in the past 5 years in particular, which has involved me coming to embrace my role as a parent educator and faculty member with Washington State University Extension, Julian Douglas County. So a bit of background on the history of Extension and the role of my job as an Extension faculty member. Some of you may be familiar with Extension, which basically is more than 100 years old as an organization, and it has a national presence with land-grant universities. And the charge is to bring research where it's most needed, to develop research-based programs to serve community needs. And this concept really intrigued me. I found the role that I was expected to enter into challenging. I shied away from wanting to fully embrace being a parent educator for many reasons. One reason is that I felt that I had little experience as a parent and as a parent educator. My kids were young, ages 0 and 3 years old at the time, and my training in professional education was in another field, but different than parent education. I studied anthropology as an undergraduate student, public administration for a master's degree, and more recently than that, yoga. My parents did a pretty good job raising me, although in some ways I wasn't really raised conventionally according to other folks' opinions, I thought. So a little bit more on my job. Mark that one. I replaced a retiring faculty member who had replaced a previous retired faculty member, both of whom had terms of at least 10 years in their jobs. 2 established programs were strong, and my organization had the expectation for me to continue those and build on them, plus do something new. So those 2 programs that existed, some of you may have heard of. One is called Children Cope with Divorce. It's a court-mandated program. Is it already Mark 2. It might be 5, and I just am only conscious of 2.
You're doing fine.
Children Cope with Divorce is a required 4-hour class that's really well run, managed and taught by male-female teams. And another program is a 7-week program called Strengthening Families Program, which involves the whole family. It's a child abuse, it's a drug and alcohol abuse and prevention program, besides building on the strengths within families. 2 pretty well dialed programs in the community I accepted, which had a strong learning curve for me to learn management and those types of things. So my charge, besides that, was to develop leadership, providing educational programming that addressed community needs and developmental needs across the lifespan, super broad. Another reason that I didn't like the idea of a parent educator is because parenting is so personal. It is such an intimate thing. And I reluctantly came into a position which I viewed as telling people what's wrong or right. Especially with my background in anthropology, there's more than one right way. However, in the years of working in this area, I've come to recognize there are some very helpful universal truths that can be applied across cultures. And it's already 4 minutes. I didn't get to talk about my last. Go ahead. The program that I'm most excited about is now called Resilient Family Inside and Out. And it combines parent education with something called mindfulness. And it incorporates yoga as a way to strengthen the whole person. And that particular program is something that I can see doing quite a bit more in the future. I not only embrace now my role as a parent educator, I now see it as one of the most meaningful ways to engage as a professional because it impacts lives positively both immediately and literally for generations to come. Besides that, I see parent education as a way to healthily embrace that resolve that I had as a child by putting to use that resolve in my own family as well as practicing and supporting others to strengthen both themselves and their children in meaningful ways.